What's going on, MSFers? Duelim here, back again with another video. Where today we've got the Counter Everything guide for season number 9. That's right, I'm doing it again, even though it's extremely time consuming and I don't have the time to do it. But here I am, making it easier for you to enjoy Cosmic Crucible. I am going to make this list. This is after week 1, so this will not include Captain Britain at all. But I will make another guide for just Captain Britain teams once he is released and once we find easier ways to beat him on the live server. So please be on the lookout for that. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Hope you guys love these counters. Later, y'all. All right, coming into room number 1, Full House. Remember, these room rules are Raiders will clear ability block on their turn. Strikers get 50% extra damage if they are ability blocked. And Skirmishers will apply ability block to everybody hit. So AoE attacks and stuff like that. Even though it says primary targets only, that is not true. We have Xtreme Rogue here, and this is with Nightcrawler. So for this, you're going to need Superior 6 Vulture, MOE, anything MOE like Doom, APOC, Dorm, anything to bolster it if it's a bigger punch-up. So taking out Ultron, obviously. But if they take out Nightcrawler, because a lot of people have Nightcrawler with Old Man Logan, and they put in Sunspot, you can New Warriors this. That's right. Nightcrawler is pretty much the only blue pill stopping point for New Warriors taking out Xtreme. So yeah, that's going to be the counters for Xtreme with and without Nightcrawler in room number 1. All right, next counter is going to be just throwing in Dormammu with Xtreme and Rogue, and this is with the Nightcrawler. So it's still going to be the same thing. Superior 6, MOE. If you use something like MOE, a North Star in here with MOE will be great because North Star Ultimate takes those revives off. So maybe make him a Skirmisher so you can make sure those revives come off. Now, if they drop Nightcrawler, just as usual, and put Cyclops or Sunspot in here, either or, it does not matter. You can New Warriors with North Star this. Again, the North Star is there to remove the revives from everybody, and then New Warriors just go to town on this. Dormammu should not be on defense anymore because North Star is in the game. All right, next up, we've got Superior 6 with BK, and this one's rough. You really can't one-shot this unless you bring in, like, APOC Cabal, and then, honestly, it's not really worth it. So the main way you're going to be able to do this is going to be sacking with an Infinity Watch or maybe even a Bifrost. I like Infinity Watch the best because they are extremely versatile and can stay alive extremely long. And then you're going to come in with a New Warriors, or you could do New Warriors with Guardian over Dagger to make sure you get that offense up on spawn so they do the most amount of damage. But that's going to be kind of your best options to take this room out. Next up, we've got Spider Society, and this is going to be pretty much the same counter for every room you see Spider Society in. It's going to be Secret Defenders with Cosmic Ghost Rider over OG Strange, and you're going to want to make sure you use the Black Cat Trauma Stun on Peter B. You want to get the Rewind, preferably on Pav and Penny if you can. Then, like I said, Black Cat special on Peter B to give him the Trauma Stun, and then you're going to want to use the ability block anywhere, honestly, trying to hit Peter B with Robbie to make sure the heal block goes on Peter B. And then the CGR special will stun Penny because it flips the defense up into defense down, and it'll give a trauma stun. The only difference to this team is that I've seen is people like to throw Black Knight in here over Noir. And if you do have Black Knight in here, the safest bet is going to be sacking this and then using the exact same team. It's way easier than trying to go for a one-shot here. You definitely can try to one-shot. You could try to do like an APOC Hivemind, APOC New Warriors. There's also a comp that you use, Big Time Spider-Man, Weaver, Nova, APOC. And then you can use another big damage dealer if you want to stun the Black Knight and then get to the rest of the team. But honestly, I don't feel like they're worth it. So I would just run into with SD CGR after a sack. Coming into room number 2, Fatigued. Everybody gets their ult 2 turns sooner, and then after you ult, you get slow. So this is going to be the main team that a lot of people have been using in room number 2 to put on defense, and that's Hivemind, Sus, and then the Sqatch Pretaunt. So there's a lot of ways to take this room out. The best way that I've found is going to be APOC, Emma, Red Hulk, Vulture. Make sure Vulture is a skirmisher. That is a must. And then I used Wolverine because I don't really use Wolverine elsewhere, and he ults turn 1 in here, and his ult does a lot of damage. But the 5th really does not matter as long as it is somebody that does not spawn with buffs. So you can use Nova. Just, it cannot be somebody that spawns with buffs. It can't be Quicksilver either because he gets buffed from his passive that will speed up Super Scroll. Cannot do that. So make sure you have that team comp down below. The other options is you can obviously Cabal this. You can Cabal Kang Titania this, Cabal Lizard Zemo this, Cabal Omega Red Vulture, Cabal Zemo, anybody, honestly. But the way to beat it without Cabal, again, is that APOC, Emma, Red Hulk, Vulture, and then anybody that spawns with 0 buffs. It literally does not matter, and Vulture needs to be a skirmisher. Next up, we have Mercs for Money with Black Knight, still in room number 2. And for this one, you can use Cabal with pretty much any fast villain. So your options for fast villains are going to be Zemo. Also, Vulture is a really good fast villain. Also, Proxima Midnight is also a wild card. She gets speed up on spawn at 123 speed, so she's even faster than Nightcrawler. There's a lot of options here, so it's essentially Cabal and a fast villain that will crit, so make sure that villain is a Raider. And then Cabal just absolutely wipes this team. If you have a smaller Iron Patriot, make sure you have a Skirmisher as well to make sure you can rip off everything off of Black Knight just in case. If you have a bigger one, then you can run Raider. But yeah, Cabal just absolutely slams this room into oblivion, and that's pretty much one of the only ways to one-shot it. All right, next up is going to be SD with MLF, and this goes for pretty much any SD counter. You're essentially going to want to use, you can mirror it and use your own SD and then use Lizard because he removes all of the positive effects from everybody, and then you'd be able to get the rewinds and stuff like that on them with Hard Light. You could also do full New Warriors onto this as long as you make sure you rewind the MLF. That is extremely important because if not, then you will end up losing. But you do need to do full New Warriors into that. But yeah, I haven't seen many people put SD on defense, but if you do see it, please refer to old counter videos as well. It's pretty much the exact same in almost every single room unless it's in room number 4. All right, coming into room number 3, we've got Mercs with the double Pretaunt and the Panda and Nightcrawler. So this is going to be the same counter as last season. This is going to be the Tangled Cable, Rolk, APOC comp to take this out. In room number 3, literally nothing changes from last season counter that Pat Dim found. Massive shout out once again to Pat Dim, and that absolutely wipes this. All right, every other counter for room number 3, the defense teams were the same that we talked about in room number 1. So the Extremes, the Extreme Dorms, the Rogues, the Nightcrawlers, all the Spider Society BK, all the counters are the exact same in room number 1 or room number 3. Absolutely nothing changes whatsoever. Just make sure you're looking out for ISOs in room 1 for little changes, such as Raiders clearing ability blocks. But everything in room number 3 was pretty much the exact same, so I didn't feel like covering it. So just refer to room number 1, please. All right, next up, we have room number 4, Vibranium Enhanced, and this is the room where your ults are an extra turn away, and if you special, you gain offense up, regeneration, and defense up, I think. I think it's something like that. Maybe it's not offense up. I don't remember. I'm not going to read it because I'm lazy. First counter is going to be Hivemind. Hivemind will be beaten by MOE. They threw in Quicksilver in here as well over Ultron, probably just for some insurance policies because Quicksilver is a great character. But I think MOE would do just fine against Hivemind. And I wanted to point this out because Hivemind is actually a pretty good defense in this room because they still get their ults turn 1 because they get energy on spawn. So they really don't get affected by this room rule, which is pretty interesting. But MOE will still slap this pretty handily. Next up in room number 4, we have Illuminati without Captain Britain, and this is going to be an MOE counter as per usual. So MOE absolutely slaps this, and I know I have heard it does not scale very well, so please be wary of a punch up. But MOE absolutely destroys this as long as Captain Britain is not here. All right, next up, we've got the Old Man Logan Mercs comp with Nightcrawler and a Pretaunt. The Pretaunt can change anywhere, but this is going to be Cabal food here because, remember, we're in room 4, so we're not ulting turn 1. So Tangled's not going to do anywhere near as well here, as well as APOC will not ult turn 1. Now, if you do not have a Pretaunt here, let's say a Astonishing Bishop is gone and you don't have a Pretaunt in this room, you can MOE this room, and you can all-in Old Man Logan. You're literally going to use the Titania special on Old Man Logan. You're going to basic with Kang on Old Man Logan into those vulnerables, and then he's going to drop below 50% health most likely, as long as your Kang is large. Ultron can rewind him, and then you can get either he's going to die from that, or you can get a Moonstone stun on him with her Moonstone special, and then he's controlled, and then it's just a Nightcrawler and whoever else they have in this room. So that's going to be your best bet for Old Man Logan in room number 4. All right, next up, we've got Mercs with a Black Knight in room 4, and this is just going to be straight Cabal. Just destroy this with Cabal. Another fast villain like I talked about before. Proxima, Zemo, somebody who can get a fast crit. I really like Proxima here because none of them are going to have dodges, so Proxima's chain can go to 4 people with her special. And she's a raider, and she is a villain who spawns with speed up at 123 speed, so she is extremely quick here. But yeah, it's essentially Cabal with a fast raider. Vulture's another good option here, and it'll absolutely destroy it. All right, next up is going to be Out of Time, still in room number 4, and the counter for this is SD, and on the counter sheet, it's number 48, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a punch up by Old Timey Gaming, so definitely check out the replay for that one to see how it works. But it seems like it would do pretty well because SD is just a great team, honestly, and you could probably throw in a 5th that's much better than Doctor Strange. But yeah, it takes them out pretty well because all of their specials are extremely good because they can't ult turn number 1. Next up, we've got Spider Society, full Spider Society, and the same counter is going to apply. You're going to use SD CGR here because everybody on SD uses their specials first, and that's the most important. So you can get the stun from Black Cat, the ability block, and heal block from Robbie, the stun from CGR special as well. You just can't get the rewind from Ms. Marvel Hardlight, which honestly is not that big of a deal whatsoever. And then the Photon Blind, you want her to Photon special for turn 1. The only difference here is if there is a Black Knight in here. That's right, Black Knight. He's a terrible character. We hate him everywhere. You're going to want to use Spider Society. You're going to want to use the same thing, Secret Defenders, with CGR once again. But you will be stuck on this taunt here. But it's not that big of a deal. But you do have to sack it in this room. All right, coming into room number 5, we've got health insurance. So anytime anybody takes a turn, they clear all the positive effects on them and they heal 10% per positive effect cleared. Darkhold is a big thing that I've seen in here. This is going to go for room number 6 as well. Darkhold with pretty much any 5th that's not like Apocalypse will be beaten by Tangled Web, Kestrel, Iron Man Infinity War, and Nova. Unless there is a Daken in here, then all you do is throw in Cable or Emma instead of Spider-Man 2099. And you play it the exact same that we've been playing it for 4 seasons straight. It's super straightforward. Do not freak out about this. And if you have Hivemind on offense, Hivemind absolutely rolls this as long as there's a super small character here that you can get turn meter off of real quick. Hivemind absolutely rolls this in 5 or 6 as well. All right, coming in, Hivemind Emma, and the Emma here is to counteract new warriors from working. So what you can do here is you can use MOE, master keys like Superior 6, anything like that will do really well here. You just can't use new warriors because of the Emma being here, but the room rules literally don't change anything here. All right, coming in, Superior 6, and there's really no reason to run Superior 6 in room number 5, but I'm assuming a lot of people did not change their defense. But Superior 6 in room number 5, this goes for room number 2, room number 3, and room number 6 as well. Illuminati absolutely shreds this. Shuri, turn 1 specials, Green Goblin classes, boasts the ability block, takes off the charges, and then the team absolutely folds from there. This will not work in room number 1, though, if Green Goblin Classic is a Raider, because he will clear that ability block. But if he is not a Raider, then you could absolutely still do this counter in room 1. That'd be pretty funny. And then, obviously, In room number 2, it works well. Room number 3, it works well. Room number 4, it might even work well because they just need a special turn 1, and then you're pretty much fine from there. Other counters are going to be the Sus, Doom, and 3-piece comp, just 2 villains, 2 heroes. APOC, Undying Doom is another great option here. Or you can go for the sack option where you sack with like Infinity Watch and then New Warriors this. Pretty much anything here, as long as it doesn't have a Pretaunt, Illuminati can do really well as well. All right, coming into room number 6, named after yours truly. That's right, Duelim's Destruction. If you ultimate, you give enemies ability energy, so pick your ults wisely. First up, we have Illuminati here, and there's an absolutely nuts counter on the counter sheet, and it's Dormammu with Gamma dropping She-Hulk worked in a punch across, and there's a video on it and everything, and I watched it, and my jaw was on the floor from start to finish. It's ridiculous. And that's only going to work for a punch across, so I know a lot of us stopped building Gamma, but boy, oh boy, is it an option. And then your other big option is going to be Superior 6 Vulture, because obviously you're going to steal the speed ups from them. You're going to clear it. You're not going to steal it from them. And then what you can do is also do an MOE. MOE works extremely well there as well. All right, so the only other teams that I saw on the counter sheet as of right now is going to be teams that we have already solved in other rooms, and it plays the exact same in room number 6. That's going to be Spider Society BK, Extreme Rogue, Darkhold, Infinity Watch, all that kind of stuff. So please go check out the other rooms that I did covering that teams, because it's relatively the exact same unless that counter specifically says otherwise. All right, MSFers, that's going to be it for the Counter Everything guide. As you can see, not a lot of counters this time for the first week, but everything is going to change when Captain Britain comes out. So I'm going to make an entire video on how you guys should use him on offense and how to beat him on defense in every room that I can find. So I hope you guys are going to look out for that one. But until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.